Hello, welcome back to the Villa View for the first time ever on time. We've got Ty Bracey here with me tonight, and this just goes to show who the problem is. Neil Dunworth, not on the show. We actually managed to start on time. We are here for the post-match pint in association with Purity Ale. If you want to get 10% off everything they have to offer, then use the code #VillaView and you'll get 10% off things such as beer, ale, Villa Ale, kegs when they do them, glasses, I think they do as well. So yeah, 10% off everything if you use the code, #VillaView. Ty joins me to talk Brighton and Hove, Albion 1, Aston Villa 2, and it was a lovely weekend by the seaside. I'm still feeling a little bit tired from it, but Ty, Villa win away for the first time this season. Villa come from behind to win away for the first time since May 2021. Unai Emery, it appears he knows what he's doing.
Mate, an away win just as we're about to go into the break. What more could we possibly ask for apart from to not go into a break?
I know, typically it's very, very Villa, isn't it? To just get ourselves going. Oh, it's the first time there's ever been a World Cup at Christmas.
I had early on in that game, though, Dan, I had to rub my eyes a little bit and spray a bit of water on my face and go, whoa, is that Olsen in goal? What's going on there?
Very similar.
Yeah, I mean, early on, I was like, "Oh, you're having a laugh." I was in tatters, but obviously, you know what was meant to be. What was meant to be. First away win of the season. How'd you feel about it?
Good, mate. Obviously, rare for me to see an away victory. Although I think I was at Steven Gerrard's first away game and we won as well. So there must be something about going to the first away game of a new manager. And I should say, as excited as we all are, Steven Gerrard did win his first two games as Aston Villa manager. That's me bringing the mood down slightly. But I do feel, this is proper under Unai Emery now. The way we came from behind. And even at the end, I didn't feel massively worried in that away end. I didn't feel like we were under huge pressure. I thought we restricted them and saw the game out relatively comfortably, a bit like we did the week before, obviously with the two goal advantage against Manchester United. This just feels different. It feels like we could be on the verge of something here because Unai Emery is a proper operator, and you think Manchester United at home, who Villa have barely ever beaten. You win 3-1, and you go to Brighton, who've only lost once at home, I think, before we went there this season. They're two big results, two teams that are doing quite well this season. But Villa have won both those games, Ty, and the recovery was excellent.
100%, mate. I mean, I think someone said in the comments there that Brighton have never beaten Villa at home in the Prem. So it's nice that we've continued that. I also seen something yesterday. I don't know how true it was, but it was something along the lines of that's the first time Brighton have lost a game when they've gone in front in like 19 months, which, again, really? is massive. Yeah. So, I mean, we put ourselves in a really horrible predicament very early on, and we fought back. I thought Danny Ings was absolutely outstanding, and it was just nice to see him find that form and get comfortable with the players around him and be given those chances to score. So, to come away with 3 points just before we go into a breakdown is a thing of beauty.
And, Villa obviously suffered a few heavy blows before the game because you've got Ollie Watkins missing completely with sickness. Yeah. You've got Leon Bailey, who's been in sparkling form, only fit enough to be on the bench. So that takes away your two quick players straight away. I mean, that must have been one of the slowest sides that's ever lined up in the Premier League. Like last night, yesterday, there was no pace in that side whatsoever, apart from maybe Jacob Ramsey. But Unai Emery adapted his game plan, and he spoke after the game about trying to get more out of Danny Ings and trying to play a style that would suit Danny Ings more. And, you're seeing John McGinn get beyond the forwards, which is exactly what you want to see. I thought McGinn was really good yesterday, and he was a big part of Villa seeing the game out as well. He can be sloppy in possession, yes, but you saw more of the things that McGinn was good at yesterday, pressing, winning the ball back, using his strength to keep hold of the ball at the end and getting beyond a front player, getting into the box and winning a penalty. When was the last time a Villa central midfielder was in the box winning a penalty? It must have been a long time ago. Even though he's kind of playing from a wide position, John McGinn, he affected the game, and it was good for him yesterday. He got a good ovation from the Villa fans at the end of the game as well. That will give him a boost because I know he's been low on confidence and suffering a little bit. Just even that we've had to make a few changes without Watkins and Bailey, and we've still won the game.
Yeah, I mean, the comments on John McGinn we'll touch on first there, Dan. It's collectively, I mean, John McGinn is a high work rate player. He does put a shift in the majority of the time, but he's collectively got the rest of the team doing that with him. We're playing a very high line. There's a lot of press when we're out of possession. So it's not, it probably reflects on him in a good way that we've got the rest of the team doing that around him. I mean, we definitely, Ollie Watkins is missing, because he's massive on the press up top. But it showed that we didn't need him yesterday. We got away with the 3 points. What else did you mention? Sorry, what did you say? Leon Bailey. Yeah, Leon Bailey not being there, that was tough as well. Yeah, especially because he seems to be finding a little bit of form. So I'd love to see a solid 90 minutes out of him. But again, it's nice to know that we can do it. It's not doom and gloom if he's not in the starting 11. So it's nice that he's getting what he can out of the squad that he's currently got. But we have got some work to do going into this World Cup. I do think most definitely.
Yeah, that'd be signings. We're a couple short. He needs kind of a couple of players of his own vision. Emery, we need a wide player, and I think we need another striker up there as well. But you mentioned it at the start. We couldn't have got off to a worse start. 50 seconds in, I mean, people were still walking in the away end, or there was people who walked in after the goal had gone in. Yeah, Villa were playing that type of football out from the back that can cause you problems if you're not up to speed with it. I don't think we're quite ready to be playing that way yet. But fair play, Emre's got the way he wants to play, and he tried to implement it. We got caught out. The more I've seen that back, the more it looks like a bit of a foul to me. But it was a bad pass from Martinez. Put Luiz in trouble. He got pickpocketed, and I actually didn't think it was a great finish from Alexis McAllister either. It looked a bit like Martinez dived out the way of it a little bit. But you go 1-0 down, and you're thinking we're in a bit of trouble here. But then, to be fair to them, they continued to play that way, and it didn't always look comfortable. But in the end, I think it did cause Brighton a couple of bits of problems when we did get out, and we did beat their press. We created a few chances. We sometimes went a bit direct over the top as well and got in behind. I think Ings made a little run on the left-hand side at one point in the first half and nearly got in. There was another attack that Ramsey had a shot that got deflected over. So as much as it was making me a little bit uncomfortable in the away end, I think the main reason it was making me uncomfortable was because we'd already got picked off from it once. Yeah,
and playing out from the back, it requires a high level of composure, especially in modern high pressing football that's quite common within teams nowadays. And we really did get caught out by it, and that was obviously massive to go 1-0 down. But it was the response to it. Very, very, very often we see us go 1-0 down and heads go down. Even early on, that does happen.
Well, a lot of the time it's game over, isn't it? It's game over if you go 1 down. You're waiting for the second.
So to see that fight, it was just massive. And another thing that was massive for me was I've always felt like Danny Ings hasn't necessarily been part of the issue. I think that we've feeding him has been part of the problem, and he hasn't. He doesn't miss a huge amount of chances when he's in front of goal, but it's giving him those opportunities. And Danny Ings, he's a top Premier League striker, mate. He is, and I know the numbers. If you probably had a little look on, if there's people on Twitter doing a little comparison on the Premier League app or on Wikipedia or whatever, he probably doesn't look good on paper at Villa, but there is a goal scorer in there. And if he's given opportunities, mate, he's going to score goals. It's as simple as that.
I think if you look at his numbers actually over the time he's been here, they're probably better than you think they are. If you looked at goals and assists, his goal contributions, I reckon, are pretty high. He's already on 5 now this season, scored a couple of penalties, but that's 2 doubles he's got now. He's
this season. Yeah, this season. But I mean, collectively,
even last season, I think his numbers were pretty good. If you looked at them, they'd be better than you thought they were.
Okay, but I still think that the service has been a massive problem to him.
Yeah,
I do believe that they might be okay, but they could be a lot better. I really do believe that they could be a lot better, and that all comes down to service, doesn't it?
But Emery's the man to, if he's playing Ings like he did yesterday, and he spoke about after the game, Ings has played, so he's played in a different way to how he would if Watkins was playing up front. I think that's been a problem. Whoever's been playing up top, whether it be Watkins or Ings, Villa wouldn't change the way they played. Like, they still knock hopeless balls into the channel for Ings to play, which isn't his game at all. You want him in the box, being on the end of things, and yes, he scored a penalty, but he sniffed out that second goal, bit of composure yesterday, and that second goal as well. Massive, adversity for the first goal. Luiz stands up and then does the exact same thing to the player that's done it for him at the start of the game, wins the ball back, and you get a goal from it. And, that's the kind of resilience that we have not seen from Villa, and the kind of reaction from Villa that we have not seen over the last few years. It's not been there, and you could see it in Luiz's celebration how much it meant to him. Little things like that, they are the kind of things, Todd, that haven't been there for Villa over the years.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was just nice to. I feel like a consistent Villa came out again, like it did against Man United at home. I felt like the same team came out in the first half and the second half. A team we were fighting in both halves of the game. I mean, obviously after we had gone 2-1 up, Brighton were all guns blazing. So I think the way we defended was massive for me, Dan, and I think that was a massive thing and really important is how well we dealt with Brighton coming at us when we were in the lead.
Yeah.
Emery's tactics, the substitutions, he adjusted to the play of the game, and that's massive for us. How often do you see frustration talking about substitutions and, we need a sub all the time, and he reacts instantly to the play, and you can see that in his changes, mate. So as soon as we've gone 2-1 up, I think, did he bring Ashley Young on not long after we
kind of went to, I watched Match of the Day 2 this morning. We kind of went to a kind of hybrid three at the back. So Ashley Young was actually, it was more a 5 at the back. Ashley Young was coming and kind of playing as a right back, Luca then as a left back, and Cash kind of tucked inside. And that's the thing with Villa when they defend. I noticed this on Thursday against Manchester United. When they're defending, they always defending a line of at least 5. So Ramsey was the one who was dropping into defending, and who Ashley Young was moving inside on Thursday. And if it's down the other side, the left back will move inside and the left winger will drop in. I think that's why McGinn was so effective, because he's kind of good at that kind of thing. Let's face it, under Gerrard, he was very used to having to cover fullbacks off. So just we saw the game out. We stopped Brighton from being able to do what they wanted. They passed from side to side, get to the one side, realise it wasn't on, pass again. There was no room in behind us either, because the line was so secure and at the right distances between each other and the right distances away from the penalty area as well. So it was just satisfying to 8 minutes of stoppage time. You think, well, we all know what's going to happen here. This is so Villa.
Playoff final PTSD, man.
Yeah, I think Levi Colwell probably should have scored that header, or at least hit the target near the end. That was a good chance. But other than that, we didn't really give anything up. They didn't really create anything of any real substance. And we saw the game out relatively comfortably with the likes of McGinn of the pitch, and he was buying free kicks on the touchline as well. And that's a great 3 points away at Brighton. And as from a new start from a manager, 6 points from them 2 games is absolutely brilliant. I do just want to bring in there's been a few really good comments actually as we've been talking. AVFC Statter. I've noticed the blue tick on Twitter, AVFC Statter.
Don't start digging people out.
I think I've noticed that.
Don't start. Don't. That's not very nice.
There we go. 13 goals and 6 assists in 44 Premier League games.
And that isn't a bad turnaround. No. It's not. But I do think Danny Ings has the capability to have that in a 1-in-2 game. I really do.
Finisher.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if you count goal contributions, that is nearly 1 or 2. But I do genuinely think he can have he can get that down to 1-in-2. I really do, mate.
But for a signing that you probably wouldn't say has been a success so far for Villa,
they
stack up, don't they?
Yeah, they're not bad. They're
decent numbers. I doubt many forwards have got. Oh, that must be in there. Hopefully,
I just think he's got that in his locker. I think he's got a 1-in-2 in his locker.
But that must be, for terms of goal contributions for strikers, that must be in the top 10, let's say.
I mean, to be fair, I'm surprised at how I didn't realise it's actually not as bad as I thought it was. You are right, Dan.
No, because on the face of it, people talk about it like it hasn't been a success, and I don't think it has, because he's spent a lot of time on the bench. He's been in and out of the team, but for the games he has played in, I think they're really strong numbers. I think they're really good numbers from Danny Ings. And Wilson Tron says, this is the formation that suited Ings at Southampton. It will work in his favour, and I also think it may get the best out of Watkins doing again. Because even though it feels weird, because we're kind of out of possession, are playing a 4-4-2. So Brenda is very, very close to Ings when we were defending on Sunday. You are kind of playing a 4-4-2 when you're defending. You haven't got a winger in sight on the pitch, and there's only one striker. So on the face of it, it shouldn't work, but it does work. Unai Emery's got something in. He drills his team so well. He must go through everything with such meticulous detail that the players know what they should be doing on and off the ball. And the fact that he's managed to implement that so quickly at Villa across the 2 league games. And I didn't think we were horrible in the cup game here. I think we had a few issues at the back and with the goalkeeper, but I didn't think.
And considering there were 7 changes, Dan, I think we give Man U a good game. I'd like to say their depth is probably better than ours. I'd like to say they've got more quality off the bench than us in terms of the grand scheme of the size of their squad. So for us to in that game, I don't think we were massively bad against Man United as a collective. David Starr said in the comments, Emery has used all 15 subs available to him so far in the 3 games he's managed, which something that we didn't really see, which I thought was massive. It was nice to see Cameron Archer get a run because he gave some legs as well. He really did. He was putting the pressure on when we were out of possession. So again, it was good to see him get some minutes in the Prem. Absolutely, going into a break.
Yeah, I mean, Gig Shana saying it's a 4-4-2 in possession. I think it's definitely a 4-4-2 out of possession. It's really hard to gauge what it is at times. I think it actually probably changes 3 or 4 times through the game as well. But when we're attacking, there's the back 4. The fullbacks have nowhere near as much license to go forward as they did under Gerrard, and that wasn't working for us at all. You then got the 2 central midfielders, it was Luiz and Kamara, and it's great having Kamara back.
Oh, I love them as a 2,
Such a good player. Those 2 is technically.
I know Den Donker hasn't really stepped a foot out.
No,
he's been great. But I just them 2 together. If I could have 2, Dan, together,
that's a classy midfield. That is a classy midfield,
and they're both so young and so got such bright futures ahead of them. I'm absolutely chuffed to pieces that we've got them 2 together. We just haven't really experienced it, have we? So
no, the 2 midfielders good on the ball, both good on the ball.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Kamara wins the ball back a lot as well. He's very good out of possession. He'll press and win that ball. He sometimes goes a bit higher up than you might expect him to as well for a defensive midfielder. He presses really well.
He comes back. He does put the legs in as well, and we've needed that in the middle of it. I've always felt like that there's been a little bit of a hole in the middle of the field. So nice to have that. It really is.
Yeah. So you got the back 4 and then the 2 defensive midfielders sitting in front. It's almost like a 4-2-2-2. I've had too many 2s there. 4-2-2-2. When I think when you're actually attacking, because the kind of McGinn and Ramsey were coming inside, and that's what the goal came from. That's what the penalty came from. McGinn coming inside and getting brought down. That was a definite penalty. Do you think what's Adam doing there?
Oh, this is fancy.
What's this?
Adam, is this like
you got to warn us if you're going to do something like this?
A certain managing football game.
It looks very much like it. Bit hard. The 6.
Yeah, that almost looks 4-2-4.
Well, this is the thing. Like I just said, there's so many changes in the game.
Yeah, in and out of possession. Yeah,
it changes. It's very, very fluid. But what did you think of their penalty? I've seen it. I can't decide. It depends what angle you look at it from, doesn't it?
I mean, I'll be honest. If it's the other way around, I'm screaming. I'm screaming. But swings and roundabouts, mate. The same thing happened to us last year with Trezeguet. Swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, it was very quite similar to that one.
It's just nice for it to be in our favour for once, where because VAR are looking at it. And I genuinely thought, I'll be honest, I'm on the fence. I neither think it was a penalty or it wasn't a penalty. But it was just nice for it to be in our favour for once, Dan. I can see both sides of the argument. I'm sure, but VAR have looked at it and I thought, here we go, VAR are going to look at it and we're going to get stumped here. But it didn't happen.
If it had been given, I don't think it would have been overturned. That's
what
I'll say. No,
I don't think if you sent him to the Camry,
I don't think they would. I don't think they would have.
Oh, you don't think they would have?
I think they'd have looked at that and said, "Okay, fair. It's not a clear and obvious error penalty," because you could debate it was a penalty. So I think they'd probably have just said it was a penalty.
But the clear and obvious side just so annoying, Dan, because we measure offsides by millimeters. Do you know what I mean? So it's just there's no consistency in it, and I can completely see why Brighton are frustrated. But I don't care. We've got 3 points to get over it.
I mean, this tells you everything you need to know. We're saying some of the comments.
The comments.
So
the
last 2 comments are nailed on pen. Sorry, from David Styles, and then the next one is Danielle, never a pen. So it's like it is tough to give, but I honestly don't think
about time, Dan. It's about time. How many times have we sat here and been frustrated at a level of officiating to do with us? So it was nice to be on the before. I mean, the seven yellow cards. I mean, there were I mean, there was times at the in the first 20 minutes of the game, I was like, that's a yellow, and then
I didn't think it was a game at all.
Wow, it just got a bit tense towards the end, didn't it? That was the problem.
Lost his head.
Yeah, but we were frustrating them. We were slowing the play down. We were slow on our goal kicks. And Emmy's massive for that. And again, that's another thing. If it was against us, I'd be absolutely fuming. How many times,
But we've
do
seen
you
it.
shout at a goalkeeper? Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's nice to have that for us for once.
Yeah, Philly
The
D
game's
says
the
lots of
game.
Philly D saying lots of people saying we're dirty time wasting team, sorry, and I don't give a crap. I think that's
but it's all about mentality as well, Dan, isn't it? And it's frustrating to play against a team that's slowing the game down, killing any momentum that they're building up. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. Tactics in football. Get over it.
Sometimes you do. I didn't think we were brilliant yesterday. Sometimes you do have to win a bit ugly. The win against Manchester United was we won that playing really good football. Everyone enjoyed what they saw from Villa that day. We completely dismantled their press, and we probably could have won by more. I think I've said it before. Even most Manchester United fans would say we deserved to win that game. Arguably, we didn't deserve to win yesterday. But that's a proper away from home performance and a proper away from home 3 points, isn't we? And the Brighton fans are going home and they're frustrated because they've probably been shithoused a little bit. It's not what you want as a home fan. You don't want to see a goalkeeper time wasting, falling on the ball, players going down with cramp and injuries and stuff. But sometimes you've got to do that to get 3 points. And Villa have been nowhere near nasty enough over the years.
Yeah.
Especially since we've been returned to the Premier League. We've not been nasty enough, and we've not had that streetwise edge. And you feel like we've got that a little bit. Emi Martinez is a big part of that. He's someone who really knows how to grind things out and how to waste time.
He told a ball boy off last week when we played Man U at home. He gave him a bit of a, hey, don't give me the ball. I don't want the ball. And I rate him for it. And you bang on, Dan. We have been a bit soft with stuff like that. So, but how many times have people won ugly against us, Dan? Do you know what I mean?
Loads.
Exactly. So, I'm glad that it's just football, isn't it? At the end of the day, it happens to us all the time, So it is what it is, mate.
Yeah, I've seen Villa lose ugly a few times as well, with some really ugly losses Villa have had over. Just a quick bit of admin. I've just been alerted that the purity code seems to have changed to Villa View. There's no hashtag anymore. So if you do want some purity, maybe try the code without the hashtag. Adam's going to have to do some work on the old on-screen branding there, because that's wrong now by the looks of things. Come on, Purity, you've got to let us know stuff like that. So, is there anything else you want to cover from the game? I think we've spoke about most things now, and just a great day. I just wish we weren't going to the World Cup now, but on the flip side of that, it will, because we haven't got many players going. It will be good for Unai Emery to have time with the players. They'll have a week off and then they'll head off to Dubai and have a warm weather training camp. That will be good, because you see what he's done with very little time between games. You see what he's implemented. He's given a bit of time with these players on a day-to-day basis. Here's a question for you, Dan.
Say again. So what do you think the next month looks like for Emery and Villa while the World Cup's going on? What do you think he's doing? Do you think he's instilling his style of play more into the team? Do you think he's looking at the transfer window? I think he's got one eye on the transfer window opening. Do you think those things are coming? Yeah.
Well, he won't. I mean, he will have a say in the signings ultimately. He'll have probably identified some players that he wants, but he won't be working away at that, because that's not really his job. That's for someone else to do. But I think if you're an Aston Villa player for this next month, you're probably going to wish you'd gone to the World Cup, because I think you're going to be worked very, very hard. And I think when we come back for that friendly against Villarreal at the after the World Cup, I think hopefully we'll see some signs, because we've been impressed by what we've seen already. And that's with very little time, as I say, between the games have come. He's had 3 games straight away as soon as he's come in. He hasn't had time to do anything, but there's already these visible changes. Imagine what he can do with a bit of time. I think the players are going to be training hard. I think they're going to be watching a lot of video footage and doing a lot of analysis. I think if you're a Villa player, you'll have wished you'd have got called up for your country, because I think they're going to be very, very busy.
Well, if they're playing outside, I mean, I'm sure they'll be in some nice air-conditioned facilities. But my best friend moved to Dubai a couple of months ago, and he plays football at a decent level, and he says that the heat is just outrageous. So with them going to Dubai, I think I agree with you there. I mean, the World Cup isn't going to be much better, but I think there's going to be a lot of physical in there, isn't there, in the training side of things?
It might work to our advantage. Do you remember when we got to the COVID break, and that kind of worked to our advantage, because we kind of hit a reset and tried to implement something different, because we've changed manager and he's actually had a few games as well. So the players will be on board already with what Emery's doing. You can tell that they're on board with what he's doing. You hear what they're saying in interviews. They're all in on Emery at the moment. So having this time now, it could really be a benefit for Villa. We're going into this break having picked up 6 points, moving up the table. Now we can start looking up rather than looking down, which is something we haven't really done so far this season. Those players are going to go away, be drilled, and when they come back, because we haven't got so many players going away for the World Cup, I think we can hit the ground running. We've got difficult games when we come back. Don't get me wrong, but I think we can take.
I haven't looked at our fixture list actually for when we come back off the World
Here
Cup.
Here it comes. I tell you what, who's this new producer?
Who's this
new producer? Where are the badges though? Badges gone. Oh, there they are. There they go. You know, that isn't. You know, the first two there are pretty tough games. Liverpool and Spurs. Liverpool especially haven't really been done as well as they would like.
Wolves
so far
on a Wednesday night, Villa Park under the lights. Inject it. That is going to be top class.
But we can take advantage of the fact, you know, the first two teams, Spurs in particular, I think I've got a lot of players at this World Cup. If we can come back and hit the ground running because our players have all been together and they've all worked with Emery and his ideas.
Haven't Man City got Liverpool 2 days after the World Cup final?
I haven't got a
swear they have, or is it Man City who are playing 2 days after the World Cup final? It might be them playing each other. I can't remember off the top of my head. You know what my memory's like?
I don't know. I just know what our fixtures are. That's all I've got in my head.
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be a lot of tired legs after that World Cup, Dan. I think
it's quick. It's quick turnaround.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of squad rotate. So what do you reckon then? Out them 5 games, points? Do you reckon?
Can we get them back up? Get them back up, please, Adam.
So you got Liverpool, Spurs, Wolves, Leeds, Southampton.
I'd take 9 if I was offered it now.
100%. I think 9's doable there.
I don't want to be too overconfident.
I don't think that
we've won a couple of games.
I don't. Brighton are banging form. They're playing some good football. We've beat them. We've beat Man U, you know, which are hit and miss.
The difficulty there, not difficulty, but there's the 3 teams that you look at those 3 games. I think that's a good chance for 9 points if we play well. They've all got new man. Leeds could very well have a new manager by then. You know, Wolves have got a new manager. Southampton have just appointed a new manager. It depends what they do. They'll probably be thinking the same thing as us. A bit of time on the training pitch with the new manager. So yeah, there's no easy games. But we play like we did against Manchester United, Villa Park. We can beat Liverpool. Liverpool haven't been at it as much as they have been in the previous years so far this season. There's every chance we can. If Emery comes up with a game plan, which he's very, very good at, that we already know, there's no reason why we can't beat Liverpool on Boxing Day. There's no reason why we can't beat Spurs either. But yeah, between 7 and 10 points.
Yeah, there's some 7 and 10s in there. I think 7 minimum from Dean is bang on. I'd take 7 minimum there, defo.
Yeah, well, look, you know, we've won his first home game. We've won his first away game. It's the perfect start league-wise for Unai Emery. So I'm really excited for us to come back already. That does us for this week. This does us for tonight's show. God knows when we'll be back. What's going on? Yeah,
for this month.
I'm sure we'll do some stuff. I'm sure we'll get some stuff going on. I'm preparing to move house at the moment, but I'll get myself set up as quick as I can. I'm sure we'll do some content in the break. I don't think we did some World Cup content the other day, didn't we, with Luke? That'll be up on the channel in the next few days. I'm sure we'll get that up in there, mainly talking about England, to be fair, just talking about how we see it going for England. So watch out for that, because that should be out at some point this week. But we'll be back. We'll have some shows. We'll talk about Villa, I'm sure. There's plenty of stuff that we can do. Do a show with Neil about all the players from Macedonia that he wants us to sign. I'm sure we'll
get Neil to talk about some scouting feedback. Just get him just get him on here, mate. You'll be bang on.
Neil, why Scout Neil? We'll get him on. Yeah, but yeah, thanks ever so much for joining us tonight. Thanks to Ty and Adam for their work this evening for the channel. So as I say, I don't know when we're going to be back. Thanks to Purity as well. 10% discount code. I don't know what it is anymore. It could be #VillaView. Could just be VillaView. So try one of them and you should get 10% off. I almost feel like I should say have a good Christmas, but I'll 100% make sure that we'll get some content out before Christmas. So I won't say
enjoy the World Cup. Enjoy the World Cup.
Enjoy
a Winter
the World
Cup. I can't imagine we'll see one of them again in our time. Well, maybe, but
I hope not. It shouldn't really be happening, should it? But
it is what it is.
I'll watch every game, I'm sure, but it really shouldn't be happening. And yeah, it's just really, really strange. But yeah, thanks for everyone that's tuned in live tonight, and hopefully if you're catching up, you've enjoyed it as well. Only one thing left to say: up the Villa.
Up the Villa.